the middle way, the religion of the middle way, because it is the religion of peace. And peace is only at the center, and peace is never at the extremes. Two different forms of excess. One, of course, is fanaticism, violence. The other is consumerism. And both are forms of self-indulgence. But what we have to remember is that anger, just like lust and like other very strong emotions, begs to be released, begs to find expression. And those who are consumed with anger must hit out in some way or another. Anger is a form of drunkenness. And the drunkenness of anger is just as misleading as the drunkenness of alcohol. It is just as liable to upset judgment, to make us incapable of effective action, because effective action depends entirely upon sober judgment. This means that in practice, those who are seized by such anger lose all logic, lose all rationality. And by that very fact, they become ineffectual. The misuse of words, such as the misuse of the term terror, which I've suggested to you, is dangerous. Just because it's a big word, it can justify a big reaction. So on the one hand, we have that extreme, the extreme of violence. On the other, we have consumerism. And as I think everybody recognizes, the world today is, you might say, consumed by consumerism. We today are constantly greedy, and we are encouraged to be greedy, particularly by advertising, which tries to persuade us to buy many things that we don't need. The world is flooded today in the West with all sorts of unnecessary goods which we are encouraged to buy. We are, in fact, contributing, albeit in a small way individually, to the depletion of the resources of this planet. And we continue to do so, and we continue in doing so to pollute the earth. So that moderation is one of the principal features of the middle way. Moderation in all things, not least in our desires for the goods of this world. There is another characteristic of the middle way, and that is tolerance. We are commanded to be compassionate, to be understanding to other people, but we are not, most certainly not commanded to take an entirely helpless attitude in the face of evil. We are, in fact, to make judgments. It's a delicate task, for we are only human, and our judgment is fallible and often unreliable. But we must nonetheless have some opinion when we face what is evil, what is obviously, palpably evil. This is a huge responsibility. We must always acknowledge an element of doubt, but in seeing a scale between yes and no, if you like, we must dwell in the center and in all humility make our judgment. Perfect sense of proportion, which put things where they belong, in the right order. We cannot shrug our shoulders. We are required to make judgments, to hold firmly to the middle way, which is Islam.